Hello, this is Christopher DeLay, and I'm here with a quick video on creating / duplicating a certificate template. Please, if you get a chance, visit my blog at https://xdot509.blog. So this is kind of a video for those that are kind of new to the Microsoft PKI and not really familiar with how to manage it. So we're going to show you how to create / duplicate a template. And so the reason I say like create / duplicate is because the only way to create a new template is to, well, not the only way, but the major way that you would do it, and 99.9% of the time the way you would do it is to duplicate an existing template. I'm sure you can probably open up ADCSA edit and go through and create a template, by creating a new object and going through like the whole wizard. So you could do that, or probably programmatically create a template, but the majority of the time, if not all the time, you're going to be using the certificate templates MMC to do this. So here's my certificate templates MMC. You can bring that up in a couple different ways. So we're going to open up our certification authority tool. So the first way is to right-click on certificate templates and click manage, and that'll open up the certificate templates MMC. A lot of times individuals get confused because they come into here on the templates that are being issued and try to right-click on them and go to properties, and you don't really see that much. So to manage those, you have to go to manage. Or the other way is to open up cert temple.msc, so CERT-TMPL.msc. And that'll open up the console. So again, the way you're going to be creating a template is by duplicating an existing one. So let's say, for example, you want to issue like a user cert for to get on the wireless as an example. So there are some templates like that you can use to duplicate. So for like a user template, I can go find my default user template and I can duplicate it. Now before I duplicate it, just a real quick thing on template versions. So there are these template versions. You see these different schema versions, 1, 2, and 4. When you duplicate any template, it's going to become either a 2, a 3, or a 4. It's not going to stay as a 1 when you duplicate it. And so the main difference, you can go back to some of my previous courses in the PKI basics class / videos to kind of see what what's involved in that. But typically when you what's involved with template versions, but basically version 1 template is really basic. Really the only thing you can change with it is the security, and then basically a version 2 template basically allows you to have access to a lot more fields in the template, and then 3 and then 4, depending on which OSs you select, which I'll show you in a second, will result in you getting either a 2 or, if you make it a 2 or a 3 or 4, there'll be more options available in each level of the template. So obviously if you're like a 4 with all the newer OSs selected, it'll be pretty much all the options. So I'm just going to go here to my user one, and then I'm going to duplicate it. And this is where the template version is going to be set. So if I just left it at this, it'd be version 2. But if I have a newer OSs, let's say I have all new stuff here, I'll just do 2016. It'll tell me what new features are being enabled, and then I can go into Windows 10 / server 2016, and you see all these features that are being enabled in the template. Then next, I have to give the template a name. So I'm going to call this Fourth Coffee Wireless. This is going to be used to get on the wireless network. Typically you don't want to store certificates in Active Directory. I actually have a blog and I think a video on that, so you can view those, but I'm going to uncheck this, and then I can go through and change any of the other options I want to. Obviously this is kind of meant to be a quick video, so I'm not going to cover every option, but here I typically do apply. And then things that I would want to change is security. So if I want maybe I want all my users to get it, so I'm going to make sure they have enroll, or maybe if I'm doing auto enroll, I'll have them do auto enrollment. So that's typically something you would change. On some templates, you might want to go to request handling and allow the private key to be exported if that's something you need to do. And that's usually the majority of the things you're going to do typically, like for a wireless template that we're doing here. There are things, the one last thing you may want to take a look at is, for example, if we go into application policies. So you see this is encrypting file system, secure email, and client authentication. So I can add or take away application policies. So let's say I just want to use this one for wireless, so I just need client authentication and I don't use secure email or EFS in my environment, so I can remove those from here. Click OK, and then click OK, and now I have my new template. So that's pretty much how you go through and create a template. The one thing you want to look at is if you go into like this user template. So it says user, so we know it's a user template. You can also view some of these templates will also, if you click on certificate and template name, will tell you whether it's a user or computer. That might be helpful when creating your new template. Main ones you're typically going to do is like user for user, and then for like computers you would either duplicate computer or workstation authentication. The difference between computer and workstation authentication is that, let's see here, the computer has both client and server auth, and the workstation just has client auth, so that's the main difference between the two. So again, you primarily use computer and user templates. The other ones is for domain controllers. If you're doing a specific, there's some specific things you need to change in your template. Typically you'd be looking for the Kerberos authentication to duplicate. And probably the most common one for many purposes is the web server. So web server is probably the most duplicated template. So that's how you go through. You find a template that's kind of close to where you want to be with your settings, or like kind of fits whether it's a computer or a user or a purpose like a web server, and then you go through and right click and do duplicate a template, and that's how you create a new template. Don't forget, once you create your new template, there's the few key things are, go back to my wireless one. The main things you have to do is make sure whoever you want to be able to enroll to that template has read and enroll permissions. Typically, this would not be a good practice here, given authenticated users read and enroll. You want to use a more narrow security group. So the main things is you have to give the users or the computer who you want to be able to enroll for that certificate at least read and enroll. And if you're using auto enrollment, which if you're not familiar with, I cover in my PKI basics class or videos, and then you can go through if you're going to do auto enroll, you can select read, enroll, and auto enroll. So you need to make it, you have to give permissions for people or computers to be able to enroll for. And then the other piece is you need to make sure that it's available on your CA. So if I want to make this template available, you're going to do certificate templates new, certificate template to issue, and then we're going to find our wireless. Wireless one, so we need to find that, and why can't I see it? Here we go, Fourth Coffee Wireless, so I can select that and click OK, and now it will be available on the CA. If you have more than one CA and you want it available on more than one CA, then you need to go on to each CA and do the same thing. But hopefully for those of you that are new to PKI and the Microsoft PKI, hopefully this will help you get on your way with the project that you're working on. So once again, if you do get a chance, please visit my blog at https://xdot509.blog. If you'd like to add a comment, you can add a comment to this video, or my blog also has a contact page and you can reach out to me there. So thank you for taking the time to view my video today, and I'll start working on the next one. Thank you. Bye.